Hi, I'm Lauren Lee Smith, and I play Danielle in Trick or Treat, and you are watching Pop Culture with Pat.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Trick or treat!
Hey guys, welcome back to Pop Culture with Pat. I'm so excited to be joined by today's guests. Today I'm talking to Lauren Lee Smith, who played Danielle in Trick or Treat. Lauren, thank you so much for your time today.
Of course, I'm so happy to be here chatting with you.
Super excited to talk to you. Trick or Treat, one of my favorite horror films of all time. Watch it every single year now at this point. I'm gonna give a spoiler warning. I feel like most people watching this have seen the film, but just in case, because we're definitely gonna get into spoilers here. But
Yeah.
just to start things off, what was kind of your relationship with the holiday Halloween and then the horror genre in general coming into this film?
Huge Halloween girl over here. Always have been. It's always been, a pretty big deal in my family. And it continues to be now with my daughter. Like we've had our house decorated since October 1st. We like go all out.
Love
We
that.
have we have like the rule, which is you can be whatever you want as long as it's creepy and gory. Like you can be a princess, but then you have to be like a dead princess. Um, but no, Halloween's always been like one of my favorites. I love playing dress up. Hence, I mean, being an actor, I guess it's probably par for the course. It makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love it. Love scary movies. Love all of it. Yeah.
What are some of your favorite, I guess, like scary movies of all time?
You know, it's so funny. I was like, I accidentally watched the first Nightmare on Elm Street, I think when I was like 6 years old, which is just like, it scarred me for life.
Yeah,
Um, but because of that, I think I have this like special, like it's very close to my heart.
that's
And then
understandable.
years later, I was actually cast in Freddy versus Jason, and I was like, oh my God, this is so amazing. I'm going to finally get to like relive my childhood, nightmare come to life and come face to face with Freddy Krueger. And then there was like a scheduling conflict, and I had to drop out last minute. And I was so bummed about that because
That's
I
so
was like,
crazy. I didn't realize that was the case because Freddy versus Jason holds a special place in my heart because
does it?
that was one of the first, I think, actually it might have been the first like Freddy or Jason film that I saw in
Yeah.
theaters. So I remember going to see that being so excited. So that's really cool. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, so funny, right? I know. I was so bummed that I couldn't do it, but it was a great movie. But yeah, like I don't know, Freddy Krueger holds a special place in my heart. So
Fingers crossed. Hopefully we get
one
him back on
day.
the big screen at some
That's
point
right.
soon.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
And so, Lauren, for you, what was it about Trick or Treat when the project first came your way? What was it about the project that really kind of caught your attention initially?
So it's actually a pretty funny story. I was in Vancouver at the time, and I went in just for, like a typical audition, as you do as a young working actor. And we were given sides, and all it said was Halloween movie, and that the character was like a party girl, So, and they weren't really giving out any more information. So I went in for the audition, and then a couple of weeks later, I got a call back, and then I was like, "Oh wow, I got the role! This is amazing." Still didn't have a script, didn't know anything about it. Was still excited, Oh, like I get to do a Halloween movie. This is super cool. And I kind of was just under the assumption that I played like a girl on Halloween night, dressed up, going out with her girlfriends. Um, but it was at the wardrobe fitting. I went to my wardrobe fitting, and the costume designer was like, "Oh, so we're going to fit you for the Cinderella costume, and we have to make all the cutaways, for when you transform." And I was like, "What? What are you talking about?" And she literally explained to me what the character was and what would be happening, and I was like blown away. First of all, I was super stoked. And then I found out like the rest of the cast and who was going to be in this movie, and I was just like, wow, I've just scored such an incredible job.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
it must have been pretty wild. Yeah, like you said, to find out that you're gonna be turning into this werewolf, and you had to get fitted for like the contacts and everything like that as
I had
well, I
no
imagine.
idea. I had no idea, which is so funny that like that they cast us without. I don't know if the other girls, what their experience was, but yeah, I know that I was going back and forth to LA, so I don't know if something was just like lost in translation for me at the time, but I did not know a single thing until the costume fitting, my very first costume fitting. And yeah, I was pretty excited because like exactly like you said, getting to sort of there was going to be the animatronics sort of portion, but then there was also going to be, us incorporating certain elements in the transformation as well. So I was really excited.
Yeah, Rochelle, she was talking about how when she found out that she's never been good or never really had a lot of experience with contacts, so that was a little bit tricky for her, just trying to practice getting that, putting like
Yeah,
the thing in your eye for like a month or something before they
right.
actually do it. But yeah, it sounds like both you or all you guys kind of found out the same time. It's like
Okay.
not initially, but after around the
Yeah,
costume
yeah.
thing.
And the contact thing was so wild because like I've had to wear contacts before, but the werewolf contacts, I think because they're so big, they literally had people with us at all times to like just continually be putting drops in your eyes because you couldn't like blink properly and your eyes weren't getting enough moisture. So it was like it was a pretty yeah, it wasn't the best
Was
feeling
it
in the world.
was it hard to see with them too? Like, did you have a lot of visibility or?
Not really. It was pretty hard to see. Everything was like a bit darker.
Yeah.
Um, and I also found it a bit claustrophobic. I don't know why. Like it just felt very like I can't, blink properly. I can't move around. You had to have someone kind of guiding you where you're going.
Yeah.
Um, but it looked
Oh,
super cool. So,
yeah, it came out
all that
amazing.
matters. Yeah.
Yeah, it was worth it in the end. No, myself, I wear contacts, but
Yeah.
mine are the typical contacts I think most people are used to, like kind of the flimsy kind. And
Yeah.
from what I
Yeah.
understand, it sounded like were these like not only they were like bigger, but it sounded like, but also were they like a harder material
Yeah.
too?
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
So you're putting this like hard disc on your eyeball. It was yeah, not the
Doesn't,
best feeling, but
yeah, it
we
doesn't
got a lot
sound
of
like it
great
was the
pictures. Yeah.
like a fun time. And how did the film's Halloween atmosphere, how did that help you guys get into the spirit of the holiday? Because I mean, yeah, this thing just oozes Halloween atmosphere, the decorations, the costumes, the lighting.
Everything, right? Yeah, it was pretty amazing like getting to set on those first few days and just like even transforming, an entire neighborhood. Like we had this whole block that was just, sort of the trick or treat block and they went all out. Like it was crazy how it was Halloween, I can't remember exactly when we shot. I think it was a little bit later in the year, but yeah, it was incredible, and the attention to detail, and then also all of the stuff that we did in the forest, which was actually in a soundstage, which was pretty wild. Like I've never really done that before, but they recreated this whole sort of universe for the transformation that happened to our characters, and it was all done on a soundstage, which was great because it was like wintertime and freezing, so we got to be in studio to do it.
Yeah.
Um, but it was cool that it was all contained too, so you could really like just sort of feel, really in that world.
Yeah, I would have guessed that you guys were all outside for filming those
Yeah,
particular scenes. So they
yeah,
did a good job of recreating that environment.
totally. Yeah.
And speaking of the werewolf transformation scene, it's beloved by fans, definitely one of the favorite scenes in the film. So can you kind of, we've talked about it a little bit so far, but can you kind of just dive into the process of not only prepping for it, but actually filming those scenes? Because you have, the contacts we were talking about, but
Yeah.
the shedding of the skin. I know at one point, I'm pretty sure it's you where you take like the finger and like it goes down your back and
Yeah.
you see the blade come down. So can you kind
Yeah.
of just
Yeah.
talk about filming that whole thing?
Yeah, yeah, I loved those days that we were shooting. It was so cool. I also love that for like you said, when with the finger down the back, they actually used my tattoo that I
That's cool.
have. And so they put it on like the piece that they created for my back. Which I thought was really neat. It was like, oh, that like a piece of, Lauren gets to be on Danielle. That's really fun.
Yeah.
Um, but it was really interesting because I think from what I can remember, we shot pretty like chronologically in a sense, which is really great. Um, but it was like so many little bits and pieces, right? So like we would sort of we started off in this like crazy cool, forest environment with all of the smoke machines, and we actually had the song playing for us when we started the dance and stuff, and it was like such a creepy, weird, eerie vibe. And I think I don't know, but like for me, I was just like when we were shooting that, I was just like, this is going to be like pretty cool. I think this is going
Yeah.
to be a pretty cool scene. um, so, and then from there, it was just like breaking it down. They would bring in like sort of we would get the pieces put on that they had built for each of us, like the specific moments. And then we would shoot those and we would sort of each take turns doing that. And then they would bring in all of the animatronic stuff. And then, yeah, exactly, like little piece by piece. So it was a pretty long process. If I remember correctly, we actually shot over the course of several days that whole sequence.
That makes sense.
Um, yeah, there were so many elements. But I do remember like when I got to see the movie for the first time at the premiere, and I was just like, when it finally came on and the song started, I was like, you never know, right? You just never
Yeah.
know if it's going to translate what you do, if it's actually going to like translate on screen. And yeah, I mean, I loved it. I thought it turned out so great.
Oh yeah, it was amazing. What was your reaction to seeing the animatronics? Because I thought those were pretty cool. Seeing those for the first
They
time.
were pretty cool, right? I know. I was like, I had no idea how it worked or how, like how the I don't know the proper term for the people who like run them or make, you know what I mean, who are
Yeah,
there. But yeah, it was really cool and bizarre and strange because it's like it feels very real, but then you also see this person who's like working it and controlling it. And yeah, it was neat. I'm also like such a like the reason that I got into being an actor was essentially because of Jim Henson. Like Jim
yeah.
Henson is my jam. So like any type of like puppetry, like any of that kind of stuff, I love so much. And in a sense it kind of had that feeling to it, right? Of using these like puppets in a sense, the
Yeah.
animatronic. So it was really cool to get to sort of see that behind the scenes.
And I feel like it makes it a little bit easier for you guys as actors actually having something there to react to rather than, sometimes you have to use like the tennis ball or the laser pointer,
Yeah,
things like that. So
yeah, exactly.
having those werewolves there.
Yeah, to actually have them and see it, and to see even all of the girls like in their various sort of transitions and getting to be a part of it, and even all of the incredible background performers that we had that like gave it their all. It really just sort of made you feel like you were immersed in that world, and I think that's why it came together, so well.
Yeah, I think it's one of the best like werewolf transformation out
Nice.
there of
Yeah.
recent memory, at least in my opinion. And can you talk about just, as far as working with the girls, with Anna, Rochelle, Monica, just some of your other favorite memories of working with them and then developing kind of that dynamic that you guys had on the set?
Yeah, yeah, God, it was like we just had a lot of fun, to be honest. We were all, this was a few years ago. We were, in our 20s and shooting in Vancouver. And I think we were all just sort of like, we all bonded really quickly. We all got along really well. So there was definitely some fun nights out in Vancouver. I think we ended up back at my place a few times, my apartment that I had at the time. Um, but I think it was really just that, like we really sort of wanted to embody these girls and this like party atmosphere vibe, and so we made a point to just sort of hang out and make sure that we had a lot of fun together. And I know Rochelle and Anna, I think they had both spent some time in Vancouver, but Monica and I are from Vancouver, so it was fun getting to sort of take them to our favorite places and
Yeah.
show them around and go out. And it was just a really fun time.
Now, Lauren, I don't know if you've given this any thought, but where do you think Danielle might be at today?
Ooh, good question. I wonder. Yeah, I don't know.
The other girls, and one of them mentioned about like maybe now they have their own little werewolf
Jill,
running
I
around.
was just about to say, yeah, I was just about to say that. Maybe they're like living in some suburb and, the next generation has taken over. Yeah, that's what I like in some sort of weird, creepy, yeah.
That would be
Well,
really fun to explore with because I know Mike's working on Trick or Treat too. That would be a
yeah.
fun. little,
Yeah.
throwback to the first film to have you guys come back.
Yeah, it would be really fun. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
this was Mike's baby. I mean, obviously, no secret about that, the amount of passion that was
Yeah.
poured into this project. So, can you talk about just the experience of having him as your director and to you? Because I mean, you've worked with a number of different directors in your career. What is it about him that stands out?
He is just such a visionary, and like to have this like fully realized idea, and to be able to translate that into the film, into the iconic film that this is turned into, I think it's incredible, and it's a testament to his craft. But like you said, he is so passionate about this genre, and about these characters. And even when you go back and see like the sketches and all of the stuff that, sort of is where this all began. You can really see, like you said, that this was his baby, and this was his world and his inner workings, which is so twisted, and I love it so much.
Yeah.
But he's also at the same time just such a fun, lovely human, So it's like there's this like darkness, but it's also met with this like really playful, fun side, which I think is what you see in the movie. To be honest,
Yeah.
right? It's super creepy, but there's also like all of these just classic throwbacks and these like classic, yeah. So no, working with Mike was a dream. He's an absolute sweetheart, and I think no matter who you would talk to across the entire cast, they would all sort of have the same experience.
Yeah, you guys have had nothing but kind words, so far
Yeah,
speaking to the different cast members. And I remember I was a fan from day one. I remember when this trailer first
yeah,
came out, and I was just so excited because, as you can see, Trick or Treat fan now that the movie's out, but I was a big Halloween person ever since I was a little kid, always been a big
yeah,
horror person. And so I was like, wow. And of course, we had Halloween with Michael Myers, but
yeah.
I felt like, wow, we actually have a full movie based on Halloween, Trick or Treat, all the different traditions. That was something that really hadn't been done before.
A
I
whole
was,
new thing. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, so I was so excited for it. I was like, oh, I can't wait to see this in theaters. And then for whatever reason, it never ended up getting that initial release. But
yeah.
man, I mean, it has taken on a life of its own since it's hit home video, streaming. When did you start to realize that this thing was kind of becoming the huge thing that it is now?
Yeah, it's so funny because I had no idea for a few years, and I think it would be probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago now. I remember taking my daughter to the first time I ever took her to Spirit of Halloween,
Yeah.
and I had no idea that there was going to be trick or treat things, costumes, like all of it, right? Like I was like, the movie that I'm in? What? Like, wait, what? And then I kind of like did a little bit of a deep dive, and that was my first sort of, realization of like, oh my God, this is having a complete resurgence. Like it's become a whole other thing. And I remember talking to the people at Spirit of Halloween, and I was like, wait, have you guys, is this a new thing? And they're like, oh, for a few years now, like the movie is really popular again, and it's coming, or not again, but like, because like you said, like when it first came out, it didn't reach a huge audience. So yeah, that was pretty surreal to sort of have that moment. And I was like trying to tell my daughter at the time, I'm like, mommy's in this movie. She's like, yeah, okay, sure. She's like, can I watch it? I'm like, well, no,
No,
no, not yet. But
not yet. Yeah.
so that was yeah, pretty wild.
No.
So she knows all about the movie now. She knows all about Sam. We have Sam figures. We have like part of our Halloween sort of setup incorporates a lot of trick or treat memorabilia.
Wow.
She's 9, so we've had the discussion this year of like when can she watch it?
Yeah.
She's counting down the years. Yeah.
Now, did from the film, did you get a chance? Because I know sometimes you guys aren't able to, but were you able to take anything from working on the film?
I don't, and also just because of like I've moved around so many times since we shot. I want to say that I have a lot of photos. Like this is back, when I would bring like my little digital camera to set. So I have tons and tons of behind the scene photos of myself and the girls. Especially like the dates that we would do, all of the prosthetic pieces and the contacts and stuff. I have a lot of photos of that. But I don't think I have any of the like set pieces, which is such
Or
a
pieces of
shame.
the costume or
Yeah.
anything like that?
No, no,
That would
unfortunately.
be that'd be cool. I know a
Yeah.
lot of times, yeah, it has to go back to like the costume department because if they use it for,
Yeah.
something else or whatever it be, but yeah, that would be really cool. I mean, at least you got like the pictures and stuff like
The
that.
pictures, and I think I have probably somewhere in storage, I have my first script, like
Oh,
the
okay.
original, yeah, script. I try to keep all of those from the projects that I do. Yeah.
Yeah, and as far as just like the fans go too, how have they continued to surprise you with their passion for the film over the years? Because it's one of those movies too that continues to just gain new and new fans every single year. I have little kids that are around my neighborhood and they know who Sam is. So,
So funny. Yeah, I know. Again, like with just the sort of like realization of how this film has had, a whole second, third, fourth win, and also how it keeps, like, I love how every year it gets shown in theaters again, in select
yep.
theaters, which is really cool. And I think that probably opens up, a wider audience. But yeah, it's a bit surreal, to be honest, to sort of have the understanding that this is a movie that is so beloved by so many people, and that it's become one of the Halloween classics that people put on. It's pretty cool to get to say you're a little part of that, right?
Yeah,
Um,
because it doesn't
so
happen that often. You don't have these type of films. I feel like especially now, it's kind of cool for me. It's like Hocus Pocus, where Hocus Pocus
yeah,
came out, didn't do well at the box office. Granted, they released it in July, which I don't know what they were
that's a
thinking
weird, yeah,
doing
yeah.
that, but yeah, it didn't do well, and then that thing's become a staple of Halloween. And same thing for Trick or Treat. It's like it just isn't October, it isn't Halloween without putting Trick or Treat on. So
Yeah, yeah, and it's so, like you said, I hear that from several people now, or even meeting new people who say, "Oh my gosh, trick or treat! That's one of our, we put it on every year. It's what we do. It's one of our traditions." And I'm like, "Oh my God, that is so cool! That's
yeah.
so cool!"
I
Yeah,
mean, as an actor, that must be, yeah, one of the coolest things to know that your work has impacted the amount of people that it has, and it's become a tradition, so people hold it so
yeah,
near and dear to their heart.
yeah, totally, totally. It's yeah, I feel very honored to get to say that I'm in the movie.
Now, Lauren, there's been talks about Trick or Treat 2 now for years. I know Mike gave a recent update on it. As a fan, do you have any ideas of where? I know we were talking about the werewolves, but any other
Mhm.
ideas that you would maybe like to see explored in a Trick or Treat 2 or?
I mean, gosh, I would just love to see wherever Mike's mind, whatever he has brewing, whatever is in there, which I know there's stuff, and I know it's something that he's been thinking about, and something that, like you said, has been sort of circulating, and the rumors have been going around for such a long time. So I genuinely just trust that he has some sort of, probably, really cool ideas. And genuinely, just as a fan, I would just be excited to get to see, whatever he comes up with, I
Yeah.
think.
It's got to
Yeah.
be tough though. I mean, when he made this, I mean, trying to bring his baby, his vision to the screen, that's one kind of pressure. But now, so when that film came out, like we talked about, it didn't really have that audience initially.
Yeah.
Oh, it's developed into this cult classic thing. So I'm sure there's probably a different kind of pressure as far as I have to live up to those expectations of what people love that first one so much. I don't want to disappoint.
Yeah, yeah. I think exactly like with that type of thing, you just have to stay true to yourself. It's as hard as it is to just sort of let all of that go. But I think that's probably why there was such success with the first movie, is because this is something that Mike has he spent years bringing to life and creating these characters and creating the story. And as long as it's something that he believes in and that he trusts, then you just have to hope that the audience is ready and accepts that, and yeah, yeah.
I think we're gonna enjoy it. I'm sure we'll be in
I
for a
think
treat.
so. I think so.
Fingers crossed. Hopefully this time. I would think it would, but fingers crossed, it comes out in theaters just initially when part two does
Yeah,
finally
exactly.
come out.
Exactly. Yeah.
And if you were to be asked, Lauren, is this something, would you be interested in appearing in Trick or Treat 2, whether it's as your original character or even if you came back as some other character that just showed up in the sequel?
Oh my gosh, of course. Of course. I would be, thrilled to come back in any capacity whatsoever. I would come and do, craft service so I could just
Yeah.
get a little behind the scenes glimpse of what's going on.
Fingers crossed. Well, to
Yeah.
wrap things up for you, Lauren, is there anything else that you'd like to say about the film, the fans in general, and then where can people stay up to date with you moving forward?
Yeah, just honestly, I'm so thankful and grateful that this movie has reached such a wide audience, and it's so special that people continue to support this movie. And yeah, I currently just finished up on a show called SkyMed. I'll be in season 4. And then I have a film that premiered at TIFF called Steal Away, which should be coming out in theaters later this year, early next year. So yeah, just, plugging away.
That's excited. Yeah. And as far
Yeah.
as like social media, Instagram, anything like that else, as far as people can follow you at?
They can follow me on Instagram at Lee Lauren Smith. I'm not really great at social media, but the world we live in, you gotta do your part, I guess, to a
Yeah.
certain degree. So I try.
I hear you. Well, hey, Lauren, it has been an honor talking to you today about the project. Thank you so much for your time. I can't wait to see what's next for you, and you are welcome back anytime in the future.
Thank you so much. It was great chatting with you. Hi, I'm Lauren Lee Smith, and I play Danielle in Trick or Treat, and you are watching Pop Culture with Pat.